this is Valerie Aiello, and you're listening to Idea Diary. Thanks for coming back to my office and hanging out. Yesterday, I heard someone say something, and it really made me think. I guess that I need to totally change my brain up a little bit, because what I've known is that something different is happening. I have a hunch that social media is going to be completely different as of January 2021. Not that it's going to go away entirely. I think the way people are using it, how people use it to market things, I just feel like things are going to just totally flip fast. Similar to when MySpace just was gone one day and everybody was on Facebook. I feel like something is going to happen. Not that Facebook is going to die or Instagram is going to die or everyone's going to jump on TikTok I don't feel like it's going to be necessarily something like that, but I feel like the way people use all the platforms and use everything is going to switch. And somebody mentioned something, and I don't have any idea who it was. It was just like one of those videos that I must have clicked on, or YouTube must have played something next. I have zero idea what it was. But they were talking about the fact that mass media is gone. So the idea during the Industrial Revolution, when we had books and everyone was kind of buying the same books, reading the same newspapers, and then the television happened and everyone had a TV in their home and everyone was watching the same TV shows and the same news. Apparently that's gone, and what we have now is network media. It made me start to think that if we are just going to be in little kind of pockets of network media, and it's not going to be like everyone's on Facebook or everyone's on YouTube or whatever ends up happening, and we're going to small groups, I feel like that's going to be a huge factor of how people market. And I'm hoping that there are some platforms that welcome everybody. So, for example, YouTube, I feel like even though there's a ton of different opinions, everyone's kind of welcomed in general. Despite censorship, I mean, we'll see how things go. But I feel like podcasts hopefully stay in a realm of everyone's welcomed. I think with podcasts, it's going to depend on how you get your podcasts. So if you use Spotify, if you use iTunes, hopefully those companies stay in the realm of everybody's welcome. I don't know how that's going to pan out, but I definitely think the writing's on the wall, and this is correct, that we are moving into a different way that people get media. And we're not a mass media thing anymore. It almost doesn't exist. It does, there's still people with cable in their homes, not very many, but there's still things where there are gatekeepers and you can only get in if you're a certain thing. But with YouTube being YouTube and podcasts being so extremely popular and people loving the long form and picking exactly what they want, with Netflix where people are choosing exactly what they want to watch, being that there's not just one Netflix, there's 10 that you could choose from, and they all have different content. I think it's true. Network media is our future. So what does that mean for selling stuff and having platforms and different things like that? So if we're going to be split up based on personality and everyone's going to have their own little worlds, I think there might be a decision that has to be made of, do you want to be a brand that aligns and sells to a specific personality, or do you want to stay being a brand that's for everybody, or is it going to be a mixture of both? This is all kind of a new idea in my head, so I'm still trying to think of what does it mean exactly, but I think this is a huge conversation that probably needs to be had when you're creating content for your marketing or for your personal stuff that you want to do, or for selling a product, or for direct marketing to be super connected with your customers, bringing something valuable with a podcast or something. If we're used to marketing and connecting, considering that mass media has been the old way of doing something, if we're totally shifting into network media, then I think how you design the elements in your business, kind of your cogs in your wheel, I think that might change how you do things. Plus, if you are uploading to YouTube, maybe not all of your audience is on YouTube. Maybe they've moved to a different video platform. Are you going to have to double and triple your work? It seems exhausting. I love Anchor because I feel like Anchor puts me on Spotify and puts me on iTunes and puts me on a handful of other podcast platforms. That takes away so much work. It instantly puts me in all these different places that, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't go and upload to 5 different platforms to get my podcast out there, as many places as possible. I would probably just pick one and go with that. Since Anchor has made it so easy to distribute the one show to so many different places with a click of the button, with the one simple action that I would have done to do just one, that's amazing. So maybe something will come along for video distribution. That sounds cool. That sounds like a cool idea. I don't know. But something's got to happen, considering if you want to market to a personality versus just everybody and have the people that like you find you. I think it's going to be a problem. And we'll see how it works out. But also, we've got to think about your content creation and where you're going to post it. We've got to think about your marketing and where you're going to go find it and let people know what you're going to do. And we've got to talk about press, because obviously you want to get as much press as you can wherever you can get it. I just don't know how it's all going to really work out if there are no more TV shows and there are no more newspapers. And obviously there's always going to be newspapers and there's always going to be magazines and there's always going to be TV shows. And there's always going to be these sort of self-created blogs and blog magazines, online magazines, and YouTube channels, and all the things that are popular. I just feel like you've got to consider that everything's changing as far as how people are communicating, as far as how people are getting their news. Maybe there's a better approach than the old way of doing things. I guess that's my overall point. And maybe everyone knows, but I'm just kind of sounding the alarm bell that things are changing. Where can we capture hints from here and there to kind of predict the future and put ourselves in the best place to do the best work that we can do, and not to double or triple work when you really don't have to, or to kind of take a hit on how much reach you can actually get, because things are just changing and it might not be worth chasing that carrot of where's the free place to promote my stuff. Maybe just focusing on creating the best shows you can make, creating the best podcasts, creating the best videos, creating the hub of your little galaxy of this is where I'm at, and hopefully people can find me, instead of focusing on how many places I can be, how many Twitters and YouTubes and Instagrams and TikToks and the whole gamut of all the things where you can promote yourself. Sure, if everything's perfect in your life and you're organized and your business materials and your shows and your everything that you're doing is already working, maybe you don't have to worry about the future and you're going to have customers and listeners no matter what. Maybe you're totally fine. But maybe you're still working on it all and you want the best approach. You want the best game plan to be the most successful as possible, creating the best stuff you can, hopefully reaching your perfect people or being findable. I think we have to have new plans. I don't know exactly what they are, but I think thinking of media as mass media being dead and network media being the future, and what does that mean? And what's the best approach? How can you not double work? How can you not waste time, I guess is what I'm saying. What's the plan for your in-house direct marketing with your customers, with your in-house publicity department, with your in-house marketing department? And if you're lucky enough to have a budget and you get to hire people, is hiring the biggest, best company you can possibly hire the best idea, or is hiring a basement marketer a better idea? So a basement marketer is somebody maybe without a degree, without tons of experience, but they just know the internet super well, and they might be 16 years old, but they know what they're doing. Super high-end marketing firm versus basement marketers. Where's the best value while we're in such a change and everyone's trying to figure it out? Nobody knows anything. I think that's the reality. Like I said before, when people were kind of inventing the social media manager job, it was definitely a real position in any company, but you could definitely say you're a professional at marketing and a professional at social media, but you couldn't say you were an expert. No one was an expert. It was impossible to be an expert. I think at the 10-year level, you could be an expert of some kind, but you were kind of an expert of seeing how things worked well and what didn't work well, how things failed, having all that experience, seeing it in real time and being there. That does take some expertise. I'm starting to feel like social media manager might be a kind of job that's kind of an entry-level position. The actual content creation of the stuff that you put on social media is going to be where the value is, and creating that content and posting it to, say, a YouTube or a podcast or something. That doesn't necessarily mean posting it on your Instagram page or your Facebook page is going to be that worthwhile anymore. That might kind of be a super entry-level position. Not totally pointless, but we'll see. I have a feeling January things are going to look a lot different. If it doesn't, I'll be the first one to say, hey, nothing happened. I was wrong. We're in the same old boat. But I think it's safe to say something's going to change. The level of how much it does, I don't know. We're going to see where this is all going. And I know this might be a little confusing, but this is all just in my brain right now, and I'm kind of having a little aha moment in slow motion. So I just wanted to let you guys know about the network media thing that's about to happen, and we might all just be living in our own little bubbles of our own personality types, and I don't know what's going to happen, but the shift from mass media is happening. So where's it going, and how are we going to react and keep making awesome stuff and not waste any time and just be findable? We'll see how it happens. Anyways, I guess that's the show for today, and I still don't know how to end the show, so I'm just going to play the music.